This story is called The Iceman Cometh. This is a story about my mom when she was growing up in St. Louis. She lived in a house with her family. She had 3 brothers and 3 sisters. She was in the middle. And it was a 2-family house. Her parents owned the house, but she and her family lived on the 2nd floor, and there was another family who lived on the 1st floor. She told me, she was born in like the late 20s, so we're talking about 1920s, 1930s. I believe that people in those days had electricity. I don't know, but I believe they did. And she told me that they did not have a refrigerator. Refrigerators had not been invented at this point in time. She had what was called an icebox. So if you ever hear the word icebox to refer to as a refrigerator, we're actually talking about another thing altogether, which is a wooden box or container that has an opening at the bottom. And what happens is a guy, the Iceman, would come to the house and he would have big ice tongs and he would lift a block of ice like this big, carry it up the stairs, and then put this block of ice in the lower part of this ice box. And then it would last until it melted. And when it melted, the guy would bring another piece of ice, another block of ice, and put that under there. And that's where they would keep their refrigerated stuff, in an ice box. She also told me that they had a milkman. And the milkman would come and he would deliver bottles of milk. He would leave bottles of milk by the front door. She said that the milk had cream, and the cream would rise to the surface. And nobody in her family liked drinking the first glass of milk because it had this cream in it, and it tasted bitter or sweet or something. Whatever it was, they didn't like it. So she and all her brothers and sisters would fight over who had to drink the first glass of milk out of the bottle. So this is one story that she told me about her mother, my grandmother. My grandmother had 7 children, 4 girls and 3 boys. For a period of years, she was nursing. She always had a baby because she had 7 kids, so she was always nursing. One day, the woman who lived in the house, in the apartment below, in the house, had a baby, a newborn. The woman, the neighbor, brought this baby upstairs, knocked on my mom's door. My grandmother answered. The woman came in with her baby and told my grandmother that for some reason she was unable to nurse the baby. Okay, the baby either would not take the milk or she was not producing milk, but for some reason she was unable to feed her baby. And there was no formula in those days. So in a situation like that, 99% of the time, the baby would die. That's what happens. Your baby can't eat. You can't give a baby cow's milk. You either have to give it breast milk or formula, or else the baby would die. So this woman, this neighbor, asked my grandmother if she would nurse her baby, because this woman was unable to. And according to my mom, my grandmother was horrified by this idea. No way is she going to nurse somebody else's baby. Well, the woman begged and begged, said, my baby's going to die, my baby's going to die, you have to do this. So my grandmother gave in, and she basically was a wet nurse, W-H-E-T, wet nurse, for this baby. So she nursed the baby, the woman said thank you, she went downstairs. 6 hours later, knock, knock, knock. It was the woman again. The baby had to feed again. The baby feeds every 6 hours. So my grandmother ended up nursing this baby for like 2 weeks. And then something happened, either she was able to take breast milk, the baby was able to take breast milk, or the woman was able to produce. But anyway, it stopped after 2 weeks. And then the woman, the baby survived, the woman went on her way. And that's the story of The Iceman Cometh. Don't forget to read my book, Broccoli Time by Dante, available now on Amazon Books.